Hello everybody, how's it going today? My name is Joe Bedogne and I'm a Realtor. This particular video series is going to pertain to the first-time home buyer. Now, if you are buying a home for the first time, I want to congratulate you because that's not an easy decision to make, and most likely it's going to be one of the most significant financial decisions you're going to make in your life that's going to affect your life for years to come. So I commend you for getting to this point. And my job as a realtor is to kind of alleviate your anxieties and guide you through the process and make it as easy as possible. Now, this video series is going to be sort of a bird's eye view as to what to expect and what you're going to kind of have to go through in order to obtain keys to your first home. And in this video, realistically, I just want to kind of set your expectations and give you an idea of what you should have going into that initial buyer consultation. And down the road, we'll get into more details and kind of niche it down a little bit. But right now, for the bird's eye view, realistically, what I want to get into is before you sit down with a realtor, however you find a realtor, if you know somebody that's a realtor, great. If you go onto Google and you Google realtors in your area and you find like a Keller Williams office or whatever, that's also great. However you find a realtor, go about doing that. But once you sit down with your realtor for the first time, my recommendation is before that meeting, whether you're going in with your spouse or just yourself or whoever you're going in that meeting with, before you go into that meeting to talk to a realtor about purchasing a home, it's good to kind of understand in your own mind and have a conversation with yourself and maybe with your spouse about kind of your motivation level, like how important is it for you to actually purchase a home. And what I'm actually getting at is like a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, yeah, you're kind of dabbling around, you kind of want to just see what's out there, and you want to see what price ranges get you what type of house, and that's perfect if that's where you're at. Everyone starts somewhere, so that's fine. Or the level 10 where it's like, boom, I need a house, I need one now, and I need you to help me find a house within the next 30 days. Okay, so there's those two extremes. Now, no matter where you're at on that scale, most professional realtors are going to want to work with you because we're here to serve the public and we're there to serve you. So you want to be forthcoming with your realtor about where you're at on that scale. And the reason being is it's not from selfish reasons for the realtor. It's actually to serve you in the best way possible. Because if you go into a buyer consultation, you're like, I'm a 1 or a 2, that's going to tell the realtor how they need to go about and do their job to get you to be, a 7 or an 8 and kind of get you to that position where you feel comfortable buying a home. Because usually you're a 1 or a 2 because there's something, there's a fear, there's some reason why you're kind of back there. But at the same time, in the back of your mind, you want to own a home. You don't want to pay rent anymore. You'd like to start building some equity. You want a place to call your own. Maybe you want to start a family. I mean, there's a lot of very good motivation for someone to want to own a home, and that's my job, is to help you with that. But so no matter where you are on that scale, it's important to be forthcoming with your realtor because they will know how to tailor their service to your needs. So that's why that's important. So once you come to kind of that decision of where you're at and your motivation, and you sit down with your realtor and you kind of discuss that with them, that's important. But I think the most important thing to do before you really start looking for a home is to, and this is kind of more of the financial side of things, you need to understand how you're going to pay for your home. Okay, so if you're a cash buyer, it's a lot simpler of a transaction. Basically, you just need to have proof of funds. So it can't be funds that are just under a mattress. They need to actually be funds that you have in a financial institution and be able to provide a bank statement to say, look, I have the funds to afford the house. Most people are not in that position, and most people are going to have to obtain financing through a mortgage company in order to purchase a home. And that's how 99% of Americans purchase a home. So that's fine if they're in the boat. I mean, everyone's in that boat. So where we're at with that, though, is before you move forward, it's important to get what they call pre-approval. Now, if you go into your buyer consultation with your realtor for the first time and you don't have pre-approval, that's totally fine. That's totally okay. Most likely, your realtor, if they know what they're doing, they're going to provide you with a handful of contacts they have that are mortgage brokers that work in the mortgage industry that are going to be able to help you, with your lending. Okay, and if you So that's if you do not have a pre-approval letter, your realtor is going to help you out with that. And if you do have pre-approval, it makes it even easier because we can start moving into the process. Now, the reason why that's so important, and just hear me out, and because a lot of people are like, I'll just meet with my realtor and we'll see. The quicker you have pre-approval, the quicker you can start looking at houses, the easier it'll be to put an offer in on a house that you like. So let's say, just for example, you don't have pre-approval, but you meet down with the realtor, and you talk to your realtor, and you're like, I just want to look at some houses. I just want to see what's out there. Most realtors are going to say, okay, all right, fine, let's look at a couple houses, but you're going to want to get that pre-approval, and they're going to encourage you to get the pre-approval anyway, but maybe they'll show you a house. You're going to walk into the house, and what if it's the most beautiful house you've ever seen? It has everything you want. It's in the location you want. It's the size you want. It's in the price range you want. It has, finished, wood floors, and it has granite countertops, and it has the rooms and the bathrooms and everything that you want. It has a finished basement with a pool table and all this great, well, maybe not the pool table because they're probably going to take it with them, but you get my point. It might be a house that's absolutely perfect. It's the house you want. And you say to your realtor, and you're like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I'd like to purchase this home. And the realtor's going to say, well, where's your pre-approval letter? Because I can't submit an offer unless you have a pre-approval letter. And they say, well, I don't have it yet. Okay, well, you need to get it. So here's a contact of one of my lenders. Why don't you call this person and get your pre-approval? So that's going to take a couple days because the lending organization is going to they're going to have to obtain financial information from you. They're going to want to run your credit score. They're going to want to look at your pay stubs. They're going to want to look at, maybe your bank statements. There's stuff they're going to want to data that they're going to want to collect before giving you pre-approval. So in the meantime, while they're collecting that data and giving you pre-approval, somebody else might walk into that house and say, wow, this house is absolutely beautiful. They might put an offer in, the seller's going to accept the offer, and you're going to miss out on a perfect house. So before you start looking at houses, it's very important to kind of have that pre-approval. It's not necessary, but if you want to actually buy a house, it's necessary. But if you're like a 1 or 2 and you're just kind of dabbling around, you just want to see what's out there, maybe it's not that important. But if you're like above a 5 in terms of motivation to buy a house, you need that pre-approval letter. So if you don't have one yet before you meet to do your buyer consultation, that's fine. Talk to your realtor and they will provide you some resources to get that. All right. Now, the rest of my video series, I'm going to get more into kind of the lending process, at least from a realtor perspective, not from a lending perspective, because I'm not a licensed lender, so I really can't advise in the lending world. But I can kind of tell you the importance of, the difference between some of the different types of loans and how down payments are important and how they're applicable to you. I also will get into a brief bird's eye view of sort of the closing process because it's going to be different per each situation. A little bit about submitting offers. I'm also going to have a video in this video series that's going to get into great detail about searching and finding a home and your expectations when looking for a home. So I hope this information was beneficial for you, and if it was, please go down and subscribe to this video, and you will see more and more great advice on finding and purchasing a home. Secondly, if you are in the Metro Detroit area and you currently are not working with a realtor but you want to buy a home, please feel free to reach out to me at joerealdeals@gmail.com. I will put the link in the description down below, and I look forward to talking to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.